So that's dried, and we've let ourselves in for a little bit of the next stage. We put a little bit of grey on the hand phaser, and we're going to go around and just re-blackline that afterwards as well. But the next stage we're going to do is we are going to put the flesh on. I'm going to do the skin and then the hair. We'll do that probably both together because being a sort of off-brown colour, the skin and the hair will probably blend together quite well. So we're just going to use a speed paint on this one. This is Army Painter's Crusader Skin, just for a good medium skin tone, don't be too pale. I'll just try it on the hand first. Obviously we've already blacked in the gaps, so let's see how this one goes over. And that's a fairly solid, decent flesh tone. There we go, nothing too complicated. We'll push a bit more of it up to the top there and keep those nice solid colours. And just around the back of his hand, and we'll also do across the hand which is holding the phaser. Again, nice and simple. Underneath, of course, around the fingers, and again anywhere where we go over slightly we will just tidy up later on. Don't worry too much about that. Okay, now again I'm going to push these bits of it around here a bit more, just level that up. That's rather nice. We'll put a bit more, it's going to be pushing with the point of the brush into the recess there. And now let's just do a bit round Riker's actual face and beard. So I'll just put a little blob around here, and then we're just going to literally just push that all around the face area, avoiding the not quite Pike-esque quiff.
Diplomacy is one of your many, many strengths. That and patience, forgiveness, benevolence, really great hair.
Hail the Orions.
And around the ears, under the neck. He's looking quite like Picard era Riker at the moment with the grey hair. It's quite a good look on him. And let's put the ears in as well. And again, we're just going to let the colour pool in the eye sockets as well. There we go. Right, I'll leave that to dry and come back for the hair. So a last little detail on the main colours. Whilst it does look quite good as Picard era, I'm actually quite liking the Picard era Riker. He's quite the silver fox. Let's put a little blob of contrast dark brown, in this case it's snakebite leather, over the hair. Now again, this should, as it's fairly translucent, this should go over the black lining and just accentuate that, but we are going to still paint in carefully just to make those dark colours stand out, and if it's a little light we may do a second coat just to darken the hair down a bit. But no, I think that's kind of the colour that we're going for a young Riker, or all but in his prime, fighting the Borg and with his brief first tenure as captain. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Should we if we detail this, should maybe have 4 pips on his collar as captain, with his first officer, Commander Shelby. So let's see about that when we get to that stage. We're just going to fill that in. I'm being quite careful. The good thing is if you do a lighter skin tone first and then do your brown hair colour over the top, if you do wander in towards the skin area, the darker brown just acts like a bit of a shade in between the two areas of colour, so it doesn't have that bad an impact. We've actually over accentuated the shading as it is with our black lining, but if you're doing this with any other models, that's how I would do it. Just do your lighter colour first and your darker over the top, and you'll not go far wrong. Just pick out a bit of beard bits underneath, under the chin, Excellent. Quite the dashing, spacefaring, exploring type there. I think that's kind of got the Riker effect there. Right, let's not forget the eyebrows. Add it in, and then we just need to do some eye details. And some tidying, and he's pretty much good to go. There we are. Well done, number 1. So a few additional details now. So we've just taken a white and just tidied up the base, only where we went over with the black as we were doing the shoes earlier on. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to take this rather pale grey sear in this case, a citadel colour. We've got a couple of little details. We're going to do the hand phaser because if you look at the props used at the time, the Type 2 phaser from, 2366 through to about 2371, you get those sort of straight-handled and also the sort of, I think they call them the Cobra-handled versions, are actually a very, very, very pale grey. Most of the plastic parts are sort of a pale grey, and the emitter areas and handle grips are a rather darker grey. So we've sort of blocked it out in a rather dark grey there. We'll go over the top with a little light grey, just to pick out the details. So we're going to go across here, just this way, and keep it nice and straight, and try to make sure they have a bit of black lining between any areas of colour. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same here. We're going to do the same grey, but again, leave a small area of black, and just to delineate the two parts. So just under there, like that. And we'll go on doing the handle. And we'll also go around the fingers as well. So just when he's holding it, a bit of a mix of the brows has made it a bit mucky in there. That looks a little better. Now there are some little buttons there as well, so we'll sort of pick those out. So he's got his phaser settings handy. Rotating frequencies, I think, if you're going to use them against the Borg. Much good it may do you for long. Let's just curve that area off a bit in and around the fingers. Okay, well, you might take a flesh colour and just tone that up a bit, but again, that gives us quite a nice, well-defined areas of colour. Let's just pick that out a little lighter. Again, 2 thinner coats building up the colours tends to be a little bit better. And I'll go around the other side of the phaser as well. And we'll keep the darker colours on the end near the emitter. I'm sure if I'm being quiet in the meantime, we can put some, Stu can find some music to put over the top. Let's do this bit underneath as well. May not necessarily get seen, but at least I know it's painted. And just a back bit of the handle. I think we'll use this same grey in much the way that a comic artist might use a fairly limited palette of colours. I might try just a little bit of detail on the boots, just put a little bit of shine on them. Now, this might work well, or it might be a disaster. So let's just do a little wiggly line. Like that. Does that look like shiny boots? I think that kind of gives us the right impression. This makes those look a little bit blacker than maybe the trousers, which of course they are. Okay, and let's continue with the top panel. Usually two big buttons on the front row, two big emitter bits there, so we'll just colour that in the same colour. Very nice. And I just put a little spot of white with a lighter colour on the end there and there. Right, now let's detail in the comm badge and the delta. Now I've tidied it up a little with some white, so we'll just put a few little spots of yellow behind it. Now, of course, this would be like silver and gold in real life, but I think for the cartoon effect, comic book style, we're going to use some bright colours, so we'll use yellow and white. So that's just the bit around the oval behind it. And now we'll just pick out the delta in white. So again with some pure white over the top. I think that indicates we're a Starfleet captain. Excellent. Now we can always put a little bit of additional white just in this bit here, just on the toe cap. Yeah. And then we'll just go on to further detail the eyes and face. Maybe a few bits around the phaser. Oh, I think the phaser's okay as it is. We'll just put some black and some more dark grey around the end. And we'll be back in a moment with the face.